Okay, shall we start? Hello everyone, this is Shraddha and you are watching New to Live Talk. This is yet another session of Questions of Life. So like last time, we have a very special guest with us. She's Miss Vidisha Singh. She's a positive psychology coach. She's an early childhood associate. She has been addressed so many questions related to kids psychology, adult psychology, to the parents in India and abroad. So I really enjoy while talking with her. So let's welcome her in our show.
Thank you so much, Shraddha. Even I also enjoy this interaction with you all.
Okay, so how about the psychology? Like it's I as a human, it's everywhere the same, whether it's in India or Germany or any other country, you know. So how you take it? Like, do you feel any difficulties while talking to so many different people from different backgrounds and countries?
Yeah, at times, see, because each country has their own perception. So, definitely, while explaining certain things, while trying to make them, I cannot generalize the concepts.
Mm-hmm.
Something which is very common in India might not be a common concept in Germany, or
Yeah.
probably something which is as natural as, like, probably I'll say in terms of kids, as natural as when it comes to kids, Germany is more liberal, but in
Yeah.
India, it is not the case. So I have to be very mindful, very careful that while talking, while explaining, I'm not hurting the sentiment of any parent, any guardian, any teacher, any
Mm-hmm.
educator, or whosoever is interacting with me.
Yeah, it's really very interesting, definitely. So today we have a very nice topic. It's related to, it's a long story, but in a long story, there are small, many stories in it. And if we talk about ourselves, like we have been listening stories from our grandparents and parents, and then passing it on to our new generation. But what about new generation? Do we really passing it on, or we are just, searching for a way out, and we are not doing as uh, our parents used to do with us, with the storytelling.
Uh, yeah, see, storytelling is nothing but just a form of human expression. But because parents are having less time, because it's a busy digital world, everyone has been working hard to give a good lifestyle to their
Mhm.
kids. But again, I'll leave this thing up to the parents to decide what kind of lifestyle do they want their kids to be in. Something which is completely digitalized,
Mhm.
because when you are showing stories on YouTube,
Of course,
there are no human expressions happening. But
especially the
when you
mom's
are,
expression, the way of telling the stories in
it
her
is,
own
see,
way.
uh, storytelling is just not about telling stories,
Yeah.
there is interaction happening
In
between the
between.
mother and the child, the grandparent and the child, the teacher and the child. There are different use of words which increases the vocabulary of the child.
Of course.
Then we are talking about so many gestures,
Yes.
modulation in the voice.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
we are expressing the anger, showing them through our eyes.
Yeah.
The wolf growled.
Yeah.
So a child knows, okay, fine. When we are using the term growling, it's a term of anger.
Yeah. Of course.
So, a story presents a narrative. There is a character,
Mm-hmm.
there is a
Mm-hmm.
setting,
Mm-hmm.
there's a
Yeah.
plot, then there is resolution, solution. So, if you're talking about a boy
Mm-hmm.
who is in a jungle,
Mm-hmm.
lost. So there is a character, the boy is the character, right? The setting is the jungle. There is a plot. The boy
Yes.
gets lost. Then there is a
Yeah.
resolution or the solution. Who helps the boy get out of the jungle, or
Yeah.
how he manages to, spend the whole night in the jungle.
And it's really pleasant to see kids' faces at that time you are
Yes,
creating some
yes,
suspense.
because the kids are imagining a child lost in the jungle. So, the storytelling can happen anywhere, in the kitchen, at the dining table. It has been in India. It has been a part of all the religious rituals also.
Yeah, of course. And the
No
Krishna story,
religious,
Rama
all the
story. Hmm.
stories. I have a very beautiful book, if you can
Okay.
see.
Oh wow, it's Ganesha. Wow, really
Gods
nice.
and goddesses, like, it talks about
Got it.
almost all the Indian gods,
Okay.
goddesses. Then there is
Wonderful.
a shloka. If you can, I hope you are able to see it.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, the first story is the Ganesha story. If you just refer this book to any parents living in abroad, would definitely like to
Yes,
ask you whether it is
then
available on internet in a PDF form or
yes,
not.
yes, definitely everything. Then we talk about empathy. We talk about emotions. This book, it talks about, like, you, me, and empathy. How do
Oh,
you
great.
teach your child about empathy? So, there are so many authors. Enid
Vidisha, it would
Blyton.
be great if you can provide us some links if it's really available on internet in a PDF form.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Would be
All
helpful to our viewers.
everything is available on the internet. You talk about Enid Blyton, you talk about Roald Dahl, Eric Carle. There's a
Mhm.
very nice book by, I'll just recall the name,
Mhm.
The Seed Savers. The Seed Savers. It's the name
Okay.
of the book. It's by Bijal Vachajani. Okay. And in the
Mhm.
times of global warming, it talks about how the kids of a village, they come together
Mhm.
and talk about global warming. Then, I'll not discuss the plot of the, book, but then in the present era where you are talking about saving the environment,
Mhm. Mhm.
the Seed Savers is one of the book every parent should introduce to their child.
Mhm. Very nice. So yes, it's really
See,
these kind
all
of
the
books
books
really
are
create
available for children. A
yeah,
very
yeah.
important book.
Okay, you have lots of books today for our
Oh,
viewers. Very
I
nice.
I have lots of a very important book, The
Okay.
Constitution of India for Children.
Okay. Maybe the adults also, the parents also needs to read it because due to their
Yes,
certain education, they might have missed some important information regarding this,
yeah,
and they
and
can
all
then they
these
can pass it
books
on.
are written for the children. So, there are different picturization. The book has been
Mhm.
presented in a way. So, I'm not talking about book reading here. I'm talking about
Mhm.
storytelling. So, I just introduced these books to you because even if you feel ki I have never been introduced to storytelling, I don't know any stories, so there are various books available. Just pick any book and
Yeah.
start reading the book to your
Yes.
child.
Yes. Yes.
Let's
Of course.
not, I understand we are in a digital world. Everything is available on YouTube, everything is available on Netflix, and what do you say, that everything is available on the internet.
Yes. Yes.
You
Yes.
can show
Definitely.
movies to your kids, you can
Mhm.
show rhymes to your kids, you can show
Yeah.
stories
Yeah.
to your kids,
Yeah. Yeah.
but will the TV talk?
No, definitely not. And I think if we really want to teach morals to our kids, there are lots of huge collection of stories. Those teach morals in a very small story forms,
And
and
but you know what, I like to stop
amazing.
you on this part, Shraddha. Let's not begin storytelling from the point of view of just teaching or explaining something to your child.
Mhm.
Let's just introduce storytelling as a way of fun activity, as a way of entertainment,
Mm-hmm.
so that the child enjoys the interaction that is happening between you and the child.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not just focus that, see, that character is such an honest boy, you should also try to be honest. I understand. It is a way to explain
Mm-hmm.
moral values and the teachings to your child.
Mm-hmm.
But every time, whenever you'll ask your child to come to you for a storytelling, session, maybe the
Mm-hmm.
child will think it is another lecture session happening with my mother.
Mm-hmm. I
So make
think
it
for
interactive.
small kids, there are stories available related to the vegetable. The one vegetable is talking to the other, and it
Yes,
has nothing to do with the morals, but yes, some message is there, some
yes.
maybe the friendship,
Let's
maybe
increase.
the trust.
In every session we have been, and you have been asking this question, how do we increase the communication with our children?
This is the best way,
This
huh?
is the best way.
Yeah.
This is the best way.
I think this is the best way to show your emotions to the children that you also
Yes.
have lots of emotions,
Yes. And when you're talking about, people living in two countries,
Mm-hmm.
Indians living in Germany,
Mm-hmm.
people who want to introduce India to their children, what better way than storytelling?
Of course. I think people do
One
the
festival,
same thing. I think
explain
they
the
really do.
story behind the festival.
Mhm. But as you said that people living here in a nuclear family, so it's really not possible to, just create the same thing the grandparents are telling the stories and the parents also. But probably as much as we can, we should do.
Pick one day in a week
Yeah.
when you are retiring
And,
for the day, or
mhm.
probably when you are sitting for dinner.
Mhm.
Just sit
Okay.
with your child and start narrating a story. Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
it's
Today
an
I'll tell you a
interesting
story.
idea. Yeah, dinner time. Yeah, of course, because usually the children's watch TV or something in
Yes,
parents' cell phone. So why
yes.
not the storytelling?
The child is watching some cartoon or something on the TV, and the child is not enjoying it, but because the child is getting bored, the child is
Mm-hmm.
watching TV. Go and sit with your child if you have time.
Yeah.
Pick
Mm-hmm.
any book, start reading from it. But again, the child should feel it as a way of entertainment and fun activity.
Mm-hmm. But not everyone is so much good in uh, expressions. Showing the expressions and narrations and everything. Then how
So,
it
Shraddha,
will?
when you are reading from a book,
Mm-hmm.
when there is something sad event,
Mm-hmm.
happening,
Mm-hmm.
of course, while reading that line, you will lower your voice.
I think you are dealing with the kids, and we are the females, so maybe it's quite easy for us. But can the father also try this
Oh,
if they are
yes,
not very much into it?
definitely. Definitely. The fathers can have the most wonderful stories of adventure, of motivation,
Mm-hmm.
of how, a child can come over a failure even if, things are not happening in place.
Mm-hmm.
A father goes through so many roadblocks every day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So why not
Okay.
convert everything in a story? The father is the superhero of the child.
Mm-hmm. So
And
it's a
it's
kind of.
important that every story should have a meaning.
Mm-hmm.
A story should always be used for a way of interaction.
Yeah, yeah.
Start
Nowadays,
with
like
basic
everything is
stories.
replaced with the technology.
Yes,
So it's
start with
we
basic
as a
stories.
parents are very much dependent upon these kind of like the TVs there. So many kids channels are there, and we think that it's very helpful. Kids are really watching their stuff. It's good that the channels are covering all kind of stuff in it for all age groups, so it's a
I'm
little
not against
difficult.
digital world. I'm not against, but then I'm just saying, why not include both the things?
Yes, yes.
No doubt, when a child watches something on TV, the child learns it faster. But somewhere we are
Mhm.
stopping the child from
Mhm.
imagining that particular event. You
Yes.
start a story of forest and mountains and rivers. A
Mhm.
child will, in the mind, start imagining about the forest and the rivers and the mountains. But while our child is watching, there is no creativity happening, there is no imagination happening. There's a simple flow of activity from one event to another event.
Mhm. Mhm.
While narrating the story, the child can interrupt you in between and say, okay, fine, what if there is no sun and only moon?
Yes, it's a chance to answer and just pass some other messages
That
which
is
you
how
really
it is.
want to
That
pass.
is how, like, that, it's a form of human expression. And it is very important that even if we are not doing it, it's high time that if
Mm-hmm.
we had realized about it, if through your channel, YouTube, we are talking about you, about
Yeah.
storytelling, so it's time that the parents introduce storytelling to the
So
children.
definitely, I think after watching our live talk with Vidisha, our viewers definitely will try at least once in a week to sit with their childrens, maybe on a dinner table, or maybe bedtime, or maybe walking, or maybe sitting in the park. They can just start interacting in a story form, and they can also read some nice stories, so that, and then maybe they can practice it, because it's not that difficult and not so easy as well. So, but it's a great chance for parents to interact with their children in a light mood. So,
And
in case
connect.
any of our viewers wants to ask some question to Vidisha related to kids psychology, can share their question, and Anjana Singh at new2app.com. And also keep watching, everybody, our live talks. It's very interesting. Thank you so much, Vidisha, for adding value to our talk shows and addressing such a huge and very interesting, big and small, all kind of questions related to kids and parenting. So next
Thank you so
time we will meet on the same day, on the same time. Keep listening our show. And till then, bye bye, namaskar, cheers.